If you're new to the channel, my name is Mitch, and I'm on a mission. I have a mission of purchasing a van and getting on the road and doing a 3-year project of living on the road, creating art, creating content, and studying and exploring and sort of doing this deep dive exploration of life on the road. That's the goal. In fact, I've got a mission statement. Let me read it to you. This is my mission statement. To document and explore van life across America while building and sharing a practical, sustainable way to live and work on the road. That's my mission statement. Now look at the key words I'm using there. Document, explore, build, share, practical, sustainable, both living and working. Live and work. To document and explore van life across America while building and sharing means I'm going to, over a 3-year period, I'm going to build this channel and build the portfolio of artwork and all the other creative stuff I'm doing, whether it be writing or creating art, whatever. I'm going to build that, and I'm going to share everything I do here on this channel. So I'm building and sharing things that are practical and things that are sustainable. I want to have a sustainable and practical life on the road, one that can be paid for and not have to worry about expenses and worrying about buying gas and worrying about mechanical breakdowns. I want to be so practical and so sustainable that I don't have any fear of these kind of financial issues, both living and working on the road. The key themes of the Van Life America project, the guiding principles that I'm living with. Number one is freedom is not escape. I'm not going to spend 3 years of my life on the road to escape something. It's more about a redirection of responsibility, a redirection of my purpose for that 3-year period. Secondly, simplicity must be paired with stability. Both keep things simple and keep things stable. That means my van, although it will be comfortable, it's not going to have a bunch of unnecessary junk piled on it. It's not going to have a lot of equipment, a lot of systems that can break down. I want to keep things simple. And the idea is to be stable financially so that I can handle anything that comes up, and to keep things simple. If we keep things simple, things will be less likely to break down. A third principle is having real systems and real numbers that can be tracked instead of just inspiration. I want to really track the numbers, and I want to look at the analytics, and I want to look at the systems I have in place, and I want them to be realistic. And also, this is not a vacation. This 3-year project is a working project, a working journal. It's not going to be a highlight reel. It's not like a vacation where I'm just showing you all these pretty places I'm going to. This is going to be a working project. It has a purpose. That purpose is to document van life while I'm actually living it, to actually document what I'm doing. I want to document my activities while I'm living them. That's the whole purpose of this channel. Is going to serve as a place where I can document my progress in my journey over that 3-year period. So when will this project actually begin? What are going to be the dates? Well, I'll let you know. I'm still working through that. I'm either in the first year of the project where I purchased the van, I set up all the logistics, and I actually get on the road. Maybe that's what I do during the first year. And then the second and third year, I'll be full-time on the road, documenting the progress. That's one way to do it. I could be already in the first year. So the project has begun. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it would be to wait until I get further along and I get closer to the time when I purchase the van and let the project begin at that time. Because I do want to document my journey of gathering the finances, gathering the sponsorships, putting together the Van Life America project, nuts and bolts. I do want to document that, and the whole process of purchasing the van and getting it outfitted. And I want to document all of that as a part of the project. Therefore, when will it begin? Well, it may be underway now. I don't know. What do you think? Well, let me know in comments what you think. When should I really officially start? Because it really doesn't matter that much in terms of a starting date. I came up with the Van Life America project idea back in the second week of March, somewhere around the second week of March. I'll have to look and see. I made an actual video on the day that Van Life America project was given birth. I'll have to look back and see when that video was made. It's somewhere around the 1st of March, the first week or two of March. So it's only been a month, really. Van Life America has only been in my head for a month. So if I took that as my birth date for the project, then I'm in the first month of the first year of a 3-year project. Maybe that's one way to look at it. Maybe that's the best way to look at it. Well, I was thinking about yesterday's video where I talked about not liking deadlines, but then I happened to think, today I need to look at the other side of the coin, and it's the idea of urgency. It's not like I've got all the time in the world to make this Van Life America project come to life. I mean, what am I going to do to get going? I got to stop wasting time. I know yesterday I was making statements like, I'm in no big hurry, like I've got all the time in the world, and I don't like deadlines, and maybe it'll happen sometime this summer. And so I was thinking about this whole idea last night, ruminating in my poor brain, this idea of deadlines on one hand, urgency, the idea of having both deadlines that create urgency. And if you don't like deadlines, does that mean you don't have this sense of urgency? This whole idea of being motivated to get it done, to get things done. Well, how do you get motivated to get things done if you don't have a deadline? If you don't have some sort of pressure on you to get something done? How do you go about motivating yourself to get things done without deadlines? And then I happen to think, this idea of deadlines can be looked at from a different point of view. There's deadlines in the macro, in terms of the big picture. There's deadlines that can be set for the long term, sometime in the future. I've got a deadline to do something in the future. But then there's deadlines that can be done in the micro, the smaller, incremental deadline. And I think what I was struggling with yesterday was this idea of having a deadline somewhere out in the future where I purchase a van and I get on the road and I get to the business of my van life project of creating content and art while I'm traveling on the road and doing this exploration and this study of van life. And when I was thinking about that deadline way out there sometime in the future of getting this thing on the road and buying this van, there was this sense of fear, number one. If I set a deadline for the first week of September to have the purchase of a van, well, there's so many different variables in play. There's so many unpredictable things that can happen between now and then, things that I don't really have control over right now. that maybe that's unrealistic. So I was thinking about maybe deadlines on a smaller scale. Instead of macro, setting a deadline for the big picture, for the main object, for the main task, the main goal, instead of setting a deadline for the main goal, what if I just set deadlines for smaller goals, smaller incremental steps as I make my way toward this idea, this van life project. So that's where I am now in terms of setting up goals on the smaller scale and then having deadlines for that. In other words, it would be much more sustainable and much easier to have a deadline. For example, a deadline like I'll begin approaching sponsors through email and other connections starting the first week of May for the Van Life project. I'll start contacting sponsors the first week of May. That's a small scale deadline that I can reach. Or I could have a goal of, say, save $500 by the end of the month to go into the Van Life project banking account. That's a small scale deadline that I can reach. How about this applying for 10 remote jobs within the next 3 weeks? Give myself a specific date or a deadline. Let's say by the first week of May, I will apply to 15 remote jobs. Those are kind of the deadlines I think that are sustainable and that I can reach. So I'm thinking in terms of what I said yesterday was only a part of the picture in the fact that I don't like deadlines. I don't like deadlines that are so far into the future that I can't see or have any idea I can reach. So I'm thinking making deadlines on the micro is better than on the macro. That's my thinking. What do you think? Get in the comments and let me know if you agree or disagree with that, because I was looking at that yesterday and I was thinking I was doing all that rambling about having all the time in the world and I'm in no big hurry and I don't like deadlines, and I think a lot of that was fear talking. I think a lot of that was saying, what happens if I make a deadline to do something and I don't reach that deadline? Then I have to extend it. Well, what good is a deadline if you extend it? How many times do you have to extend a deadline before it becomes meaningless? So I say set deadlines on the micro scale, on the smaller scale, that make them obtainable, make the deadlines reachable and reasonable. That way they become motivating when you reach them. When you reach a certain deadline, you get motivated that way. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, well, I think that's enough for today. That's where I'm at today. That's my brain space. That's where I'm at. And what I want to leave with you in terms of the overarching takeaway, let me sum all of this madness up by making 2 points. Number one, I think you need a mission. I think you need a purpose, a reason for doing what you do. I know I do. I don't want to just be in a van driving across America, showing sights, showing videos, doing a highlight reel, and letting that be the end of it. I want to have a purpose, a reason for doing it. I want it to have some meaning. And I think having a mission, both in your personal life and in your work life, is, especially if you have a business, you need a mission, you need a reason, you need a purpose. And it needs to be written down in some form. And the second point, which I've already discussed in terms of this idea of having deadlines, is to make deadlines small scale in the micro, rather than making deadlines macro in the big picture. The further away that goal is, the further away that deadline is, the more chances you have of not meeting it, because of all the unpredictables, all the things that can go wrong. I much prefer having deadlines that are reachable and are reasonable and are within a time frame that I can actually accomplish. They're close enough to where I am in terms of my planning to where I know I can do that. They're specific enough to where I know I can reach a deadline. And so that means I'm going to be, if I make any deadlines at all, they're going to be in the micro, not the macro. Well, that's all I have for today. Go out and have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.